The T20s are done and dusted. It's time to move the focus to the 50-over format, and Australia and New Zealand now compete for the Rose Bowl trophy that begins on Saturday. Today on Avnir presents the Outside View part by WTF Sports. We look at the three-match ODI series between the Trans-Tasman opponents. Looking at the big picture, the scales are heavily tilted in Australia's favor. New Zealand last won the competition back in 1999. Ananya, interesting matchups. Is this a record that you see changing in this series?
Honest answer, no. I think Australia are going to dominate, but it will be interesting considering New Zealand are coming off a win into the series. There will be a bit of confidence going into the ODIs, but I think Australia are going to dominate. They are a very, very good ODI side, and I mean they have enough depth to cover New Zealand easily.
Australia have won 16 times of the last 17. One was a drawn affair. So that clearly tells us which side is heavier. But let's look at the Australian squad. The big news, of course, is Ellis Perry. She's ruled out completely of the series, and that could be a big blow. But considering that they played the T20s without her, is that a big factor, Ananya?
Well, it may play a bit of a role. I mean, I think to lose someone who has as big an impact as Elise Perry with both bat and ball, so Australia essentially you lose 10 overs, and that's something that they'll have to fill. They'll also lose around 30-40 runs with the bat. So, I mean, I think they have enough all-rounders in their side, as we saw in the T20s, to kind of fill that gap. But I think it's about, figuring out which player, fills that role, how they're going to manage the order, how they're going to manage their overs. It's something that will definitely play, I guess, will affect their tactics. But I'd still back Australia to win.
The focus, of course, is on bowling because bowlers have a larger workload, 10 overs as opposed to just 4 in T20Is, and that's why we are more focused on bowling. Batters, of course, can take their time to score. Meg Lanning, after the third T20, has said that there could be scope for changes in the pace department. Who do you see coming in?
Well, I think, Australia, they like the look of Annabelle Sutherland. They see her as, someone who could potentially be a superstar in the, women's game. But I think Talia McGrath has been brought in, as a like-for-like replacement for Elise Perry. And that's what Sean Flegler said when she was given a contract. And I think that they will give her an opportunity. She's, scored heavily and done very well for South Australia and Adelaide Strikers over the last year. So I'd like to think that they'll give her a go. But I'd also actually like to see Belinda Vakareva given a go. She was very good in the WBBL last year. So, hopefully some of these young guns get a go.
Moving on to the New Zealand squad, clearly the Kerr sisters, Amelia Kerr especially, is made of steel. And given that she stole the match from Australia's grasp in the final T20I, that can easily shift the momentum towards New Zealand, can't it?
It definitely can. I mean, I think it'll give her a lot of confidence going into the ODIs. She didn't have a particularly good record against Australia in T20s as a bowler. So I think it'll give her a lot of confidence going into the ODIs. She is a key bowler for them, and she's been stepping up with the bat. So Jess as well bowled exceptionally well in the final game. So I think both of them kind of will be hoping to influence the ODIs just as well.
We'll have to talk about New Zealand's batting more because one, it was a failure in the T20s, but secondly, the batting order will sort of have a different look as to what it had in T20s, isn't it? Amy Satterthwaite, Sophie Devine, Susie Bates, where will these three bat?
Yeah, it will definitely be interesting to see where they bat. I mean, in the previous ODI series, you had Lauren Down and Bernadine Bezurenhout, who's not in the squad this time. So, I think they have the potential to bring in someone like Natalie Dodd, who is essentially an opener. She was their 12th in one of the T20Is, if I'm not wrong. So that means they trust her in the field. So I think she's an option. But, I'd like to see Susie Bates open again. She's I know she's not looking in the best form, but I think that's the best position for her. It gives her enough time to kind of settle down and, I suppose, impose herself on the innings. That's something that New Zealand really need, and I would certainly hope that she moves up the order.
Time for some predictions. What's your take? 3 matches. What's your result?
I'm going to go 3-0 Australia, because I just want them, one, to break that, to have the chance of breaking that 21 ODI streak. And two, I think in the longer format, I think I'd back Australia against any team. They just look that much stronger than everyone else. What about you? Who are you backing?
Very bold prediction, I must say 3-0. But I want to, again, take sides with New Zealand, but I saw the results of that in the T20 prediction. So 2-1 Australia is my prediction. They are the stronger unit, and I at least expect New Zealand to win 1. So 3 matches that begin on Saturday and end on 7th October, the Wednesday. Hope to catch you after the series on Avnir Presents, the Outside View part by WTF Sports.